The auction hall was a cold, sterile place, illuminated by harsh white lights that reflected off the polished metallic walls. Rows of wealthy buyers sat in silence, their faces obscured by holographic masks to preserve their anonymity. At the center of the stage stood a young woman, her wrists bound by glowing energy cuffs. Her name was Kayla, though no one in the room cared to know it. To them, she was lot number 47, a genetically engineered human, designed for servitude and sold to the highest bidder. Kayla's silver hair shimmered under the lights, and her violet eyes scanned the crowd with a mixture of defiance and despair. She had been bred for obedience, but her creators had failed to suppress her spirit entirely. She remembered the labs, the tests, the endless cycles of conditioning. She remembered being told she was nothing more than a tool, a commodity. But deep inside, she clung to the hope that there was more to life than this. The auctioneer's voice boomed through the hall. Lot number 47, a premium model engineered for adaptability, intelligence, and loyalty. She is capable of performing a wide range of tasks, from domestic duties to advanced technical work. Bidding starts at 50,000 credits. Hands shot up, and the numbers climbed rapidly. Kayla's heart sank with each bid. She had seen others like her sold off, never to be seen again. Some were treated well, but most were discarded when they outlived their usefulness. She wondered if her fate would be the same. Then, a voice cut through the noise. 200,000 credits. The room fell silent. All heads turned toward the source of the bid, a tall, broad-shouldered man with a scar running down the side of his face. He wore a simple gray coat, a stark contrast to the opulent attire of the other bidders. His piercing blue eyes locked onto Kayla's, and for a moment, she felt a flicker of something she couldn't quite name. The auctioneer hesitated, then nodded. Sold to the gentleman in the gray coat. Kayla's new owner approached the stage, his expression unreadable. He unlocked her cuffs with a small device and gestured for her to follow. She obeyed, her mind racing. Who was this man? What did he want from her? The man's ship was modest but well-maintained, a far cry from the luxury cruisers Kayla had seen other buyers use. He led her to a small cabin and handed her a set of clean clothes. "You can change in here," he said, his voice calm but firm. "We'll talk after." Kayla hesitated. "What's your name?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Yerrick," he replied. "And you're Kayla, right?" She blinked in surprise. "How do you know my name?" "I make it a point to know the names of the people I rescue," he said, a faint smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. "Now get changed. We've got a long journey ahead." "Rescue?" The word echoed in Kayla's mind as she changed into the clothes he'd given her. They were soft and comfortable, unlike the stiff uniform she'd been forced to wear in the labs. When she stepped out of the cabin, Yerrick was waiting for her in the ship's small common area. "Sit," he said, gesturing to a chair. "I'll explain everything." Kayla sat down, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. Yerrick leaned against the wall, his arms crossed. "I'm not like the others," he began. "I don't believe in owning people. You're not a tool or a commodity to me. You're a person, and you deserve to be free." Kayla stared at him, her mind struggling to process his words. "Then why did you buy me?" "Because I couldn't leave you there," he said simply. "I've seen what happens to people like you. They're used up and thrown away. I couldn't let that happen to you." Tears welled up in Kayla's eyes, but she quickly wiped them away. "What happens now?" "Now," Yerrick said, "you have a choice. I can take you to a safe colony where you can start a new life, or you can stay with me. I'm not going to force you to do anything." Kayla looked at him, searching for any hint of deception, but all she saw was sincerity. I want to stay with you," she said softly. Yerrick nodded. "All right, but you'll have to pull your weight. This ship doesn't run itself." For the first time in her life, Kayla smiled. "I can do that. Over the next few weeks, Kayla learned the ropes of life aboard Jarek's ship. He taught her how to navigate, how to repair the engines, and how to defend herself. In return, she helped him with cooking, cleaning, and managing their supplies. They fell into an easy rhythm, and Kayla began to feel something she had never experienced before: belonging. One evening, as they sat together in the common area, Kayla asked Jarek about his past. "Why do you do this? Why rescue people like me?" Jarek was silent for a long moment, his gaze distant. "I used to be a soldier," he said finally. "I fought in the corporate wars, back when the megacorps were fighting over territory and resources. I saw a lot of terrible things. Entire planets stripped bare, people treated like disposable assets. After the war, I couldn't just go back to normal life. I had to do something to make a difference." Kayla nodded, understanding. "You're a good person, Jarek." He chuckled. "I don't know about that. I've done a lot of things I'm not proud of, but I'm trying to make up for it now." Kayla reached out and placed her hand on his. "You've already made a difference to me." Jarek looked at her, his expression softening. "You're family now, Kayla, and family looks out for each other." Their peaceful routine was shattered one day when they received a distress signal from a nearby planet. Jarek immediately set a course for the source of the signal, his jaw tight with determination. "We have to help," he said. Kayla nodded, her heart pounding. She had come to trust Jarek completely, but the thought of facing danger still terrified her. When they arrived on the planet, they found a small settlement under attack by a group of mercenaries. Jarek didn't hesitate. He grabbed his weapon and charged into the fray, with Kayla close behind. Together, they fought off the attackers and saved the settlers. As they prepared to leave, one of the settlers approached them. "Thank you," she said, tears streaming down her face. "You saved us." Jarek shook his head. "We're just doing what's right." Kayla felt a surge of pride as they returned to the ship. She had been afraid, but she had stood by Jarek's side. She had fought for something bigger than herself. Months passed, and Kayla grew stronger and more confident. She had found a purpose, a place where she belonged. But she knew their work was far from over. There were still countless others like her, trapped and suffering. One day, as they prepared for another mission, Kayla turned to Jarek. "I want to help you rescue more people," she said. "I want to make a difference, like you do." Jarek smiled, his eyes filled with pride. "I was hoping you'd say that. Together, we can change lives." And so, they continued their journey, not as owner and property, but as partners, as family. Kayla had been sold like an object, but Jarek had shown her the true meaning of family. And together, they would fight to give others the same chance.